I recently had a discussion with a fellow investor about what I call dashboard startups. These are products that enables users to aggregate data from various sources to then visualize it on a dashboard. We had this discussion because we were both looking at such a company, and both of us have maybe the wrong perception that dashboard startups can be great businesses but are super hard to scale, and hence how we should look at it from a VC perspective. However, I'm completely aware that I could be completely missing the point here. So in this video, I will share with you the thinking process behind my conclusions, and hopefully you can challenge it and show me where I'm wrong or the aspects that I missed. First of all, by dashboard startups, I specifically speak about the products that let you aggregate data and visualize it on a dashboard in order to help you make better decisions. This type of product is very common in the finance and business intelligence categories. And chances are high that you know, for instance, Tableau software, a BI tool for analysts, which was acquired by Salesforce for $15 billion. However, this model is spreading in more and more software categories. Like, okay, in the HR category, which is a dashboard that enables engineering leaders to monitor the performance of their tech team. Or in the product category with June, which provides a dashboard for all your product's event metrics. And this specialization can also happen in specific industries rather than categories, like Chatmogul, which focuses on subscription-based businesses. And the list can go on and on for customer success, analytics, sales and marketing, etc., etc. Again, my point is not to say that these are bad businesses. Dashboard startups clearly solves real pain points for their users and can be fantastic businesses. No, my question is strictly related to how you assess them from a VC perspective and the challenges that they need to overcome in order to really scale and become multi-billion dollars companies. And I see three of them. Many SaaS businesses can scale because their pricing increases based on the number of employees who use the product. This seat-based pricing is what enables many SaaS products to do revenue expansion or to price their SMB and enterprise customers differently. However, many dashboard startups do not benefit from these dynamics. Often their product is used by a solo user, like a manager or an analyst. The collaboration component for dashboard products is very often not so obvious. And however happy the manager or the analyst is, it can be hard to convert other employees into paying customers. And hence, scaling revenue through revenue expansion can be challenging. As an illustration of this aspect, you cannot find a seat-based pricing on the pricing pages of OK, June, and Chatmogul. Another dimension through which you can scale revenue is through usage-based pricing. For example, the more you use cloud resources on AWS, the more your bill will be expensive, which seems to be fair. The more you use something, the more you need to pay for it. And it's with that dimension that most dashboard startups will structure their pricing. As we already saw, many do not have seat-based pricing, but almost all of them are based on usage. For example, OK will increase its pricing based on the size of your engineering team. On June, it is based on the volume of product actions you track monthly. And on Chatmogul, it is based on your current MRR. The challenge here is that for some dashboard startups, it can be hard to justify a price increase when you do not really consume more resources for it. It's probably easier to justify a price increase when you track more events on Junes than purely based on your MRR, like with Chatmogul. The last challenge that I want to touch upon is about user education. Dashboard and metrics are useful only if they lead to action. And action is very often not straightforward. The user needs to interpret the data she sees and apply it to her particular case. And this can require a lot of user education, which is always difficult to achieve at scale. Not only do you need to provide really great educational content to your users, but you also need to make sure that you successfully educate users for every single new customer that you acquire. A good illustration of that is Tableau. They have put in place an amazing education program with a lot of online material, but also through a superstructured user adoption strategy based on detecting the internal champions of their product, then conducting internal workshops to train employees, etc., etc. If my main question is about scaling this type of businesses, it's because when I looked at the Bessemer Cloud Index covering the 100 most valuable public SaaS companies, I found less than 5 dashboard type of companies in the top 100 and none in the top 50. The most famous one might be Amplitude, and they rank at the 80th position. Clearly, it's not the dominating product model here. And the biggest success that I can think of is Tableau. Tableau is a BOI tool that was acquired by Salesforce for $15 billion back in 2019. Just to give you some perspective on the size of the business at the time of the acquisition, Tableau had just passed the $1 billion revenue mark with more than 800 million in recurring revenue. They had more than 60,000 paid customer accounts, and at the time of their IPO, so a couple years before the acquisition, their ACV was around $15,000 per business customer. Now, clearly we can say that it's a success, and if we go back to the 3 challenges that I mentioned earlier, I think that Tableau was particularly good at solving them. First, they have built a general purpose BI tool that can be used by a wide variety of business analysts. And it's not a tiny niche. In the US alone, there are an estimated 800,000 business analysts. So while it might not be easy to convert an entire company to using Tableau, like Slack for example, they do have a huge number of potential users for their product. Second, they structure their pricing around different types of users: creator, explorer, and viewers, ranging from $70 to $15 per month per account. So they found a way to monetize users who are just occasional Tableau users and just need to see some data and not necessarily to manipulate it. Third, they managed to put in place a successful user education strategy with a huge amount of educational content available online, from online classes to webinars and career paths, complemented by very structured actions with programs targeted specifically at internal champions, for example, or other incentive to train colleagues. In conclusion, Tableau showed that it's possible to scale such businesses. But as we could see with the index of the top 100 most valuable public SaaS companies, only a very few managed to do it. And I personally believe it's because they require some specific characteristics and not all of them can really scale to that level. But I'm also aware that the market is changing and potentially more and more dashboard startups will scale to the millions to the hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue. Because first, the market is getting deeper, and second, because data literacy is improving with an increasing number of employees using dashboards and metrics, and not just business analysts. And this is why I'm more than happy to hear your thoughts about this model and whether we will see more of them having stories like Tableau or Amplitude. Thank you for watching and see you next time.